Squeaky chair, squeaky chair. Hey, hi, hello, and good afternoon. My name is Amanda, and welcome to Harmony Portal Tarot Live. How is everyone this fine Friday? It's Friday, y'all. Homecoming football game day for us here in the Dunn household. How is everybody? Check on in. Let us know that you're here. Today we are going to be doing a donation-only live stream. I think it's been about now 3 weeks since we last did one, because I was not live last week when we would have done that. So check on in. Let us know that you're here. Genevieve. Hello, Genevieve. Or as I like to call her, Vivi. Her mom calls her Gigi. Versha's here. Hello. Canary 002. Hello. Or 002. I never know how to say that. Linda's here. Linda. Hello, everybody. I can cross off yesterday's timestamps just in case I need to use this for today's timestamps, if there are any. I do know we have one donation from Katie R. So far, that rhymed. Let me just double check that we're up to date on our good old donations. Let's see. Okay. Yes, one donation so far from Katie. I'll probably wait till about the 5-minute mark. We'll just kind of chit chat for a moment. Anyone have any fun weekend plans? We have a jam-packed weekend. We have Boston's high school's homecoming. Then we have the local university homecoming, Grizz homecoming, which Boston's performing marching band in that parade. He's performing at the he's doing a marching band thing out on the field for halftime at his football game for his school tonight. Then tomorrow morning, marching band. Wrigley gets to dress up as Monty, which is his favorite thing. Monty is the local mascot here. Let me see if I have any photos from last year to show you guys the costume I made him that, well, technically I made it first for Boston. And then it got used, and then through Wrigley, used. And Wrigley still wants to wear it all the time, whereas Boston, probably around, I guess around the time he was Wrigley's age now, he kind of just stopped wearing it. But Wrigley has seemingly no chance of, or no sign of stopping as far as wanting to keep going. So he got a free Twinkie at the what do you call it? The parade. That's the word I'm looking for. Oh yeah, here's Boston last year on the parade. This was for 8th grade Red Wave last year. Let me see if I can find. Well, here's kind of the back of the costume. And I'll show you well, there's him with Monty. So that's what Monty actually looks like. Oh, and let me show you real quick. So it's right out here. Let me grab it. I made this for Boston's 5th birthday. I'll show you guys. It's so big. It's a big old kind of paper mache, but like it's actual concrete sculpture I made. So like, yes, very 3D of Monty. And it's so heavy. It would have to be anchored on the wall. And yeah, so we're like, I always joke, because I went to this college. I'm like, I always joke that I'm not even a Grizz fan. I'm just a Monty fan. Oh, Ruth is here. You say hi real quick, and then you gotta go. You say hi. Hey, Scooter. Yes. Little gooder. It's Ruth. All right. I love you, but you gotta go. You gotta go. But Wrigley's goal every year is to be spotted by Monty at the parade. And of course, if he goes to any of the we've only went to one football game and he forgot all about it because it's the first one. Well, there's the costume with him just kind of bringing it down a little more. And then here's the video. Let's see. A video where Monty spotted him. Here, let me move the. This is so fun. Probably the best reaction he's gotten at a parade. He just loved it. As you can see, I think you can see the smile on his face right after. Or maybe that's in a photo that Ryan took. Or no, I was taking photos, Ryan was taking video. Yeah, here's the photos I was taking while Ryan was taking the video. So excited. Him getting spotted, getting picked up, his victory lap, more of the victory lap. And then the big smile after he got put down. So, yeah. So, hopefully, fingers crossed, that we can find all the pieces to this costume because it just kind of ends up here, there, and everywhere around the house. But it's usually decently contained within this drawer, especially the fur pieces. But we had to, that's what I was trying to say earlier, is my mother-in-law sewed the fur pieces. We had to upgrade the fur pieces around 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. It's been a minute because they were made for a 3-year-old Boston, and Wrigley at 3 and every other age has been taller than Boston. So we really needed to, I mean, by the time we upgraded, the fur was like way up here on his arm, and we're like, okay, let's get you. And at first it was kind of big fur, and now it's just kind of right. So at least last year, he hasn't tried it on since about, I want to say February was the last time he wore it at the Grizz football game. But you can even see last year, it's pretty, that arm is pretty bulky. So anyway, that's our big excitement. And then we have a golf match for both boys. It's probably the last one of the season for both of them because weather's doing what it does. And then Wrigley has, Boston has driver's ed. He started driver's ed on Monday. Oh my gosh. So we had the golf class last night, and Boston had to miss the first probably 35 to 40 minutes of the hour because he was at driver's ed. So, it looks like I'm not wearing anything, doesn't it? I swear I'm wearing a shirt, you guys. So we're kind of in that like overlap again, and just the busiest week, one of the busiest weeks since school started, because there's all these after school band practices, driver's ed practices, running a kid from here to there. So much going on, but it's so fun. You need some time to ask your question. No worries. Yeah, we have one donation already from Katie that we can dive into, and kind of while you try to form your question, that's no worry. And of course, Versha, Spirit already knows. So even if you just kind of get the gist of a question out, Spirit can touch on what your intention is to find out. That's always beautiful to discover. Like, even sometimes we're like, I don't even know what question to ask, and the Spirit asks the exact question that we're like, yeah, I actually wanted to know that, but whatever reasoning, we couldn't put it into words or whatever. I get that all the time. With just even my own personal, I'm like, I don't know exactly what to ask, so like, what do I need to know? So Spirit will tell me what I need to know, or what do I need to know about this situation, and then of course Spirit will illuminate. Because a lot of times I notice, for me, when I ask especially very specific questions about this area of life or this project or this thing, that sometimes I miss the mark. So I always try to ask, like, what does Spirit want me to know? Or what does my true Spirit want me to know about this? Because a lot of times we can kind of look at life through our like human filtered lenses. At least I can, that's for sure. That a lot of times if I ask the question or phrase the question, it's not that we're getting the wrong answer sometimes when we can't quite hit that question on the nose. It's really, we're asking sometimes the wrong questions or not quite the right question. I don't know. So a lot of times I just leave it open to Spirit, like, Spirit, take the wheel. We'll figure this out. Yeah. So while we give Versha some time to figure out how to get that question formulated, we might as well just jump right into Katie, and most likely she's going to watch again. I'm just going to timestamp since I think she mostly works. It was 911. I just saw 911. Katie, she usually works, so. Oh. Okay, we have a donation also came in for Marlene. Maybe we'll start with Marlene since she's here. I think Marlene is here, and then we'll timestamp for Katie here in a bit. After maybe Versha, that'll give Versha even more time to kind of figure things out. That's no problem. So Marlene, you donated for a 1-card poll, so go ahead and post your question. We're going to get right into that for you. Take a quick drink of water. And hello to you as well, Marlene. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, gearing up for the busy, busy weekend. It's already been a busy, busy week, especially with homecoming, trying to like figure out which day was it? Was it Wednesday? I think was everything but a backpack or anything but a backpack. So Boston, guess what he took as a backpack? Of course, his golf bag. With all his golf clubs in it, mind you. See if it were me, I'd have removed the golf clubs. Maybe left my favorite one in there or something. But no, he's like, it's for the effect. I'm like, so you're going to carry those heavy golf clubs around all day, plus pack it up with all your, papers and pencils and everything you're going to need. Okay. But, that's what he wanted to do. And then yesterday was 90s. So each of the four class levels, I think the seniors were 80s, juniors were 60s, sophomores were 70s, and then Boston's grade was 90s. So he just wore a pair of Ryan's silver jeans, like that he's maybe worn once because they're kind of fancy jeans, but silver brand jeans were really big back in the day. And the waist on them was like 4 or 5 inches bigger than Boston. So he had to wear this belt and they just look super baggy. Remember the baggy jeans of the 90s? I'm like, just make sure your underwear aren't sticking out. I know that's a very 90s thing, but like, who wants that? Nobody. And then he wore like his Jordan jersey and his hat kind of like up over his like hair, boys with their hair these days, like the rat's nest on top or the, bloom of broccoli on top of their head. But then he kind of put the hat sideways a little bit. I'm like, you're totally rocking the 90s. And then he has a silver chain, but he has this just like 23 for Michael Jordan that was gold with like fake rhinestone crystal-y thingies in it. And so he wore that too. I'm like, bling, bling. Anywho, Marlene, we might as well timestamp for you too as well. For you as well. Since we're here. 11:53 for Marlene. Okay, energy has been feeling off. Any advice how to fix it or anything that wants to come through that can provide further clarity? Okay, I'm already hearing, Marlene, this is very much tied to this whole collective kind of falling away of old energy, surging. I heard surging of new energy. But then as I said surging, I also saw a surger. Do you know what those are? They kind of get they're a more intricate sewing machine, basically. It cuts the end of the fabric as it really solidifies the end. So what I'm seeing with this, so this is kind of a message for everyone before we technically get into Marlene's question, is there's a surging off of just cutting the fat, cutting the excess, cutting off just what no longer serves you from a spiritual level. You may, though, the weird thing is, you may, though, feel like some of this stuff that's kind of falling away or falling apart is needed, is necessary because, human, like we need certain things to get by or to exist or to, feel like we're doing things right. But you're going to learn over time, Marlene and everybody, that these things just aren't needed anymore. And it's mostly ways of processing or like mental capacity, especially if you've been having a lot of brain fog, Marlene, or just kind of feeling this blah. Again, kind of hanged man energy, but just kind of this permeated kind of just like there's nothing really exciting going on, but like there's nothing really bad going on. It's just kind of you know. But let's get some additional guidance specific to Marlene. Of course, we'll start our timer so I can keep myself on track today. There we go. Okay, so specific to Marlene, anything. Yeah, it's almost a confused energy, especially with that brain fog. Yeah, absolutely. It's a very much a collective thing right now. So you're not alone in this, but I want to know how specifically you, Marlene, are navigating this, or anything you need to know, or just what needs to come up. Yeah, there's the blah right there. And when we feel this kind of almost malaise or lethargy, and I wouldn't even call it physical lethargy, it's more mental lethargy, And one thing that downloaded, my hair's still wet from the shower, but one thing I downloaded in the shower is we're not meant to live like this. We're not even meant to really have social media. I mean, think back to, before the internet existed, before even, I would say, not even the time of telephones, but, maybe the 80s or even prior to the 80s, the 40s, the 30s, the 20s. Think back. You maybe knew 150 people in your community. You didn't know all these influencers, names, let alone their like families' names, their histories. Like think of all the people we follow on social media. and just all the information about those people and about the products they're selling and about the topics they're talking about. Just social media alone is like information overload. And that's one big download coming in, is to decompress, to unplug, and just get back in connection with the people that you talk to in person, more so than the people you talk to online, or even just the content you're consuming online. And as you kind of pull your energy back, because I'm hearing resources are scattered. There's something about resources being scattered that you're going to be able to facilitate. Yeah. And it's like, it's going to add up. So each little bit of time that you take back from just scrolling, even if it's like scrolling on topics that you're looking at, be more, and this is something I tell my kids, something I tell myself all the time, is be more mindful of, you know, like I was saying in a previous live stream, a few live streams back, about when we needed to use the internet back in the 90s or early 2000s. There was a station with, a little office area set up with a computer in our home. We'd go get the information we were looking for. We'd get that information, and then we'd go about our merry way. We wouldn't carry this information machine with us 24/7 all the time, where we're constantly checking in, constantly getting notified, constantly. There's something about that specifically, Marlene, that is really zapping and sapping your energy. And by sapping, I saw like a mosquito caught in amber that like is in the Jurassic Park. You remember that movie? Like the mosquito is like kind of preserved in amber. And I'm seeing almost like this was by design, like an energy harvest. So really, Marlene's question today is very much a collective message for so many of us. But yes, absolutely, for Marlene as well. I want to get any advice or wisdom, guidance for Marlene, and just being able to reaccrue your own energetic resources. The number one sap or zap for most of us is just needlessly scrolling or just consuming information that we don't really need to know. I mean, do we need to know what that guy or girl that we went to high school with had for dinner 3 nights ago, and the picture that they put up on Instagram? I know that's kind of more of a thing of the past with the, Instagram dinner photos or whatever, but like I still see people when I go to check, I'm very specific about what I check when I'm online, especially like on Facebook, because it'll suck you right in, and you scroll for about 10 different, I don't know, slots or whatever. You may see one thing that you actually subscribe to or follow or are friends with. The rest are ads or just needless fluff. There's a shit ton, sorry for my language, a shit ton though, of AI just slop, absolute slop. And it's just, what have I said? What have I said, you guys? Our biggest, I don't know, resource, our biggest, the thing that's the most valuable for us, but also for the ones that harvest us, is our attention. Where our attention goes, our energy flows. We spend our time, we pay attention. What you're spending your time doing, what you're paying attention to, that is the direction your energy is flowing. And this is not to say bury your head in the sand and, forget that this place is run by psychopaths. That's not what I'm saying at all. But just needlessly giving energy over to, I just heard the overlords, to feed on, because they feed on, just us endlessly scrolling. It zaps our energy because that energy is being harvested and harnessed to go in another direction, to fuel this AI machine they're trying to build up. And it's not to say we can never use the internet again. We can't mindlessly scroll ever again. Just be more mindful, all of you. But Marlene, back to Marlene's specific question. Advice, wisdom, guidance, just to get her feeling back in the flow of things. Okay, and it's slippery energy. It fell down. Aw. So it's going to be, it's easier said than done because it's slippery energy here, but there is a change just to kind of get out of this kind of almost survival mode that a lot of people, and we may not think, we think, well, I'm safe, like my bills are paid, I'm grinding, I'm doing my thing. I'm not in survival mode. But actually, if you really think about it, if you stop going to work, if you stopped keeping up with everything that needs kept up with, we would, within probably days, at least 2 weeks, maybe some of us to months, we would find ourselves in survival mode. So it's about kind of bringing down the nervous system. I'm hearing something about the vagus nerve specifically for you, Marlene, stimulating that vagus nerve, and especially before you go to bed. And it's kind of embarrassing, to do this, but one of the best things you can do when you lay down, even you can lay flat on your back, lay on your side, whatever, when you're in bed for about 20 times, you just take a deep breath in and then sigh it out as deep as you breathed in, sigh it out like this. And do that about 20 times. That alone will completely reset your nervous system. And you don't even just need to do that when you can do that sitting in a chair. You can do that in the bathtub. You can do that sitting in traffic. But be warned, it will relax you very deeply if you're going to do it. So if you don't need to be super relaxed because you're, still driving in traffic or something, maybe only do it 5 times. But especially right before bed, doing that about 20 times can really reset things. And that can kind of get you in a more neutral state where things aren't fight or flight or overstimulated or really stressed out, to where you can bring in more joy and laughter into your life, Marlene. All right, so I hope that helped you. It kind of was a collective message, kind of in tandem with Marlene's question there. So I gave her a little bit more time because I think we all could use that message anyway. But also, it was very specific to you, Marlene. Yeah, I only go on YouTube if I have earbuds while cooking or cleaning and working. Yeah, see, and that's really good that you are so mindful about what it is you're doing, and using the tools that you have available, not allowing the tools to use you is key for all of us right now. Brianna says, yes, preach, Amanda. Yeah, people still do that for sure, right? Absolutely. Yeah, not sure what a serger is. I'll have to look it up. Yeah. And I think it's spelled like SERGER, maybe. It's just like you see them, like you'll see the seam of what a serger creates in a lot of your textiles that you get from, like this end here is serged. See how clean it's, like it cuts it and sews it at the same time. That's a serged seam. That's what it looks like. And you can see them on all sorts of stuff. Yeah, definitely useful. Breathing exercise is new to me, but I occasionally do it before I go to sleep, but very sparingly. Yeah. And we think it's, what is a couple extra deeper breaths going to do for me? Actually, a lot. It's more powerful than, it looks like, or it seems like it would be. It really is. All right. So Versha, I'm not sure if she's been able to formulate her question. I'm not seeing it yet. So I'm going to go ahead and timestamp for Katie. 2222. Katie, you get the cool timestamps every time. Okay. So let's get into Katie's question. Oh, Versha is going to send 2 questions on text as they are very long. Please timestamp. First is full read. Second is yes, no. Both are related though. Gotcha. Perfect. Thank you so much, Versha. I appreciate the breakdown of that. Okay. So for Katie, let's go see what her question is today. Amanda, hope you're doing great. I am. Thank you. And I hope you're doing great as well. I'd like a message from Stacy, please. I will watch a live stream after work. Okay, well, let's set our full length timer here. Boom, boom, and boom. Okay. And I don't know if it's because my hands are cold or what, but my rings are just sliding all over the place today, just not staying where they're supposed to. Oh, and I did start working out again on Tuesday. My goal is to lose about, and it's not about the weight, it's about the fat that's accumulated. Probably 15 pounds could go, and I would not bat an eye. I'd be pretty happy about that. It's just since turning about 41 and a half, and I'm now 43 and a half. So about the last 2 years, I just noticed like the belly fat just creeping up a bit, and the chesticle area just getting bigger and bigger. And I'm like, no. I can't, no, it's too much. Especially, weirdly enough, especially in the chest area. I don't like when that happens. Like when I was pregnant with both my kids, I went from okay, guys, if you're here, just, you probably don't care. So just la 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 la, can't hear you. I went through, sorry. I went from a 32 double D, which sounds big, but like the smaller around, the smaller the D cup is. I don't know. It's hard to explain unless if you know, you know. But I went from a 32 double D pre-pregnancy to a 36, yes, around increase. I'm back down to a 30. Well, I could probably go up to a 34 because my 32 is a bit tight because of the, again, weight gain. But I went up to an I. Not up to my eye, but like size I. 36I. I had to special order my bras from over in the UK. I cannot remember the name of the place, but my friend Jessa, Solar Siren on here, she's the one that turned me onto it. I cannot remember what it's called though, off the top of my head. I don't want to go back there. I don't like having things bigger than they need to be up in this region, at least for me personally. So, yeah, it's time. And I guess the fun fact is it's the first place I gain and lose weight, so that's good. Oh, you're on 26 pounds right now, and I'm losing more. Seems like part of the transformation my body is going through, shedding things that don't work in my body's highest and greatest good. That is awesome. Yeah. And it's not about, that's the thing. It's not about looking a certain way because I think when I'm wearing what I'm wearing, I can't really tell, and that doesn't bother me at all. It's just how the clothes fit and how I'm constantly pulling certain things up or certain things down or readjusting my bra straps constantly because my clothes don't fit the way that I want them to fit. And I'm too stubborn to go buy bigger sizes. So this is what we're working with. I need to get like my just health and what I'm consuming like dialed in better anyway. So it's kind of a win-win situation if you think about it. So my body's giving me very instant feedback on what I need to know and what I need to do. Yeah. As all of our bodies, see what I mean? See what I mean? No. We're not playing anymore. So I started working out and I'm doing 3 days a week for 12 weeks, but at the first half of the cycle, I can go up to 6 days a week, just repeating the previous days. And it's only a 15-minute workout. It's the metabolic renewal. You can Google it. It's like $37 for the whole thing. And I've been through it 2 other times. And the first time I did it, I lost 12 pounds. Second time I did it, I only made it about halfway through. And I think I lost about 7 pounds that time. So I know it works. And it's in tandem with, it gives you like a whole way of eating. But of course, I'm more into like intuitive eating. And intuitively, I know I'm not eating the way that I need to be eating. So we're dialing that in anyway. And here I've rambled 5 minutes past Katie's timestamp. So I'm going to re-timestamp for you, Katie, 27:09. So not quite the cool 22:22 timestamp, but it's okay. So the third time's a charm. 3 timestamps. We're finally getting into it for Katie's reading. So let's go ahead and finally start that timer. And we have Versus question as well. Okay. For Katie, message from Stacy. Woo! And I knew it. I kind of looked. I'm like, I think I'm shuffling this upside down. Yep, I sure was. Okay. Message from Stacy to Katie in alignment with Katie's true spirit. Stacy's true spirit. What does Stacy want Katie to know? Ooh, that one jumped. Ooh. Okay, so overwhelmed, but also again closing out cycle, starting a new cycle. This is kind of how she usually, maybe not in the last reading, but a lot of the readings that we do with her energy. It's like, yeah, I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I'm overwhelmed. I mean, par for the course. We are all chronically overwhelmed and burned out, but we just keep pushing on through because that's just what we're told to do, you know? Got to keep going. There may even be something with her health, especially like autoimmune type something or other. I'm hearing it's not important as far as like what it is, but more just the overall energy levels that she has to devote to life and things that are outside of just keeping everything running, keeping that wheel maintained, keeping that wheel going. It's like her energy levels are very low for anything extra. And this is a big part of what she wants to shift. And that's kind of why she came to this neutral territory, like with her husband. And I do see, it's very funny because what we were talking about right before the reading, Katie, if you're kind of just jump to this timestamp, if you kind of go back a bit, we timestamped for you for 22:22. And then I started rambling and was like, oh, losing some fat. I want to trim up here and, you know, feel better there. And so there's a very similar thing going on in Stacy's energy where she wants to really start just feeling better in her body, especially with her health specifically and potential autoimmune or just some sort of chronic way that she feels that she wants to improve. And she's almost like, well, if I don't show up perfectly, like, do I even deserve to have this friendship or this job or this opportunity or, you know, whatever the case may be. She's kind of an all or nothing approach to a lot of things. So it's like she has a hard time just baby stepping into something. So she's kind of an all or nothing, like, well, if I'm going to change my life, I might as well change everything all at once, overnight. but then it always crashes and burns because it's too much. So there may be too many changes that she's making right now. Yeah, I'm getting a big confirmation, big head nod on that. Too many changes she's trying to make right now that it'll all kind of start to go back to like what is it I really have to do because I can't maintain all of this extra stuff. But then once she kind of gets that solidified and stable and a routine built, that's when she's going to start to implement this change, then start to implement this change. And it's not like she's consciously like doing this. It's more just a byproduct of her kind of getting her nervous system regulated is really what this feels like. To where she could show up as the person she wants, not only for everyone else, but the person she wants and needs to be for herself, to then be able to pour from an overflowing cup rather than being constantly empty and depleted because she's been giving it to everyone else. All right. Any other message from Stacy to Katie? I heard take them both. So we're taking them both. Okay. Oh, okay. This makes perfect sense. Again, this is very collective energy that she's dealing with right now, which is about releasing victim mode, blaming, resentment, guilt, shame, wounds, so much going on just in her own energy that and mental just stories she tells herself about, well, this person doesn't like me because of this, or my husband won't step up because of that, and just all these stories that may or may not be true, but that just kind of go on repeat until they become almost a reality, even if they're not true or real. She's waking up to this fact to be able to release or let go of these limiting victim roles, victim patterns, limiting beliefs, just like lack mentality, as well as like not just financially, but with just her own self-worth. Just her being a human being is her doing enough, but she feels she has to go above and beyond for all these people in her life. And there's this big kind of crashing down realization she's coming to, that she doesn't need to be all things to all people all the time. The only person she's that accountable to is actually herself. And for all of us, as it should be. Because when we're pouring into ourselves, we have nothing but a full cup to always pour into others. But if we're pouring into everyone else first, we lack, we suffer, and then we can't show up as the person that we all deserve to be and to come across. All right. Any other messages from Stacy to Katie? Yeah, there's almost like this spiritual awakening energy going on in her field. All right. And then we also have lost in space, needing direction. Again, it's about closing out those old limiting beliefs to come to new establishments. And I love this because this is the card. Yes, it does come before the Nine of Swords, but I like to think there's almost this surrender between these swords, these kind of ladder swords energy before you get into like the court cards of the swords, of needing to surrender so that you don't literally crash and burn. And that's where she's at, is just needing. Very interesting. We have Sky Dancer and Lost in Space. So this is very much, to me, it's like mental energy, very in her head and needing to just drop down in the body. Yeah. And again, as far as any personal message from her to you, anything else Stacy wants Katie to know, especially personally between the two of them? Okay, that's a lot. All right, we're going to take this one and this one. Ooh, liftoff. Oh, there's all that sky energy we were just talking about. Fast action, progression forward, and the wait is over. Yeah, she's so ready for this new beginning. And then we have recalling, memories, missing someone and reminiscing. So this is about specifically between you and her. She misses hanging out or talking to you, laughing with you, reminiscing, just knowing that you're in each other's lives. Like, she really does miss this. And with the liftoff card coming out with it, it's like she'll get this foundation strong beneath her again, and then be able to reach out and make something new happen in this connection. Or if it happens naturally, then it happens naturally. But however this is meant to play out, you guys really could be such a valuable asset in each other's lives if the time and effort and care was given to this relationship, this friendship, this connection that it does deserve. All right. So up next, we had kind of a little influx of donations come in during Katie's reading. So I'm going to update our list so that everyone knows where we're standing. And I do believe Versha's at the top of that list right now, but and then Brianna, and then Linda. So Versha, Brianna, Linda. So we have a full read and a one card for Versha. 2 seconds. Okay, and then we have and Linda J. No, Linda H. There we go. Okay, so there is our lineup. Let me just catch up on some comments. Oh, seems to be part of the transfer. Oh, I read that part. Oh, you went from a 32B to 36D. Oops. And now I'm going down, but I think I might need toning my fascia muscle. Yeah, absolutely. I think we could all do with a bit of toning here and there for sure. Shared pics of henna I did on both my hands yesterday. It was an Indian festival. Oh, fun. Let's see what's going on with this. We'll share with the class. Ooh. Oh my gosh, that is so pretty. The talent. What the sad part of it is it fades away. It's like it doesn't even stay. Oh, I love the kind of ombre effect, how it kind of starts. I know it may be the lighting, I'm not sure. How it starts kind of darker and then gets lighter and lighter as you go. Oh, that's so pretty. Maybe sharing it that way. No, it's just gonna turn it, but and my lighting in here and my setup is not the best. Ooh, very pretty. I like that kind of rose looking flower in the middle. Very cool. Wow. I've always been intrigued by henna. I just think it's so beautiful. Very awesome. Okay. So let's get into there. Sorry, my little backrest was way up. Way up. Okay. So question 1 for Versha. Oh, it's darker, almost dark maroon. Yeah, that's what it does look like in the photo. So it does look like the photo was pretty accurate there. That's awesome. So question 1. So this is going to be for the full read. Since it is such a long question, I think I'll start the timer right after. Okay. So this week, S wanted to teach K a lesson for not cutting in line in school bus line in the morning and not to be too competitive all the time. So he forced her to go all the way to the back of the line. There were all the parents and kids present. I felt swell. I'm not sure if that's over here, right there. I'm not sure if that's a typo or I know it hurt her bad. Then I made a point to correct him, but he is not understanding. I even asked different people. They all say that his inattention was right to correct her, but the way was wrong. Yeah. I mean, there's so many loving ways we can correct our kids for something like that that don't look like calling them out in public. That's embarrassing for sure and humiliating. Yeah. So a few days ago, my neighbor at the bus stop talked to me very gently that my daughter was giving her daughter a tough time on the bus, like asking her not to do this or that. When I asked Kashfi, she said they were squabbling who sits in the middle seat. This was happening 2 to 3 times. I went to her place yesterday and asked both the girls to tell me their end of the story, but the girl kept deflecting, avoiding, and didn't want to answer. I felt very odd. I was talking with a lot of love and respect. Then a mother on the stop just walked up to me and said that your daughter is giving my son a tough time on the bus. Her son is very mischievous. I was surprised the way she chose to talk to me, just saying it in front of everyone. She could have talked in private with me. When I asked Kay what's going on, she said only one thing happened. That too at the beginning of the last school year in August 2024 when this boy was being inappropriate in the bus and she told the bus driver about it, but he didn't get into trouble. Today I had thought to confront her, but I got from spirit to wait, so I didn't say anything. But I noticed the boy behaving funny with his friend and was not even listening to his mom. Then and there, Kay knew this was an attack on I think that means I knew this was an attack on Kay, Maybe due to what S did on the bus stop, they saw the opportunity to nail K's light further down. I'm getting very similar energy here. Yeah, already. My question is, I told her that it was not right and I trust her. She not too much or bad. She is perfect. What can I let's see. Okay. My question is, I told her that it was not right and I trust her. She not too much or bad. She is perfect. What can I do to you? Maybe can you rephrase that last part because I'm not exactly sure what exactly you're asking. So, you told her it was not right and that you trust her. Gotcha. Um it's interesting because this is something that is not uncommon, especially when someone does have light and a lot of potential and a lot of talent and a lot of intellect. These people can be kind of singled out. I did see this sometimes at the school that I went to when I was in elementary school, kind of going into middle school. I saw a lot of it, and then by high school, it's like people were too aware of just like their own looks, their own whatever, their own boyfriend, their own whatever, that it kind of faded away. Um, but especially at this kind of turning point between kind of the last part of elementary going into middle school, there can be like stuff can really pick up. And of course, entities are working through a lot of these kids, especially the kids who seem to be or can be disconnected. I said she is not too much or a bad person. She is perfect and she does not have to dim her light or talent. Yeah. And what I see, especially as advice coming through, oh, I should probably start the timer. What I see is advice coming through already, Versha, for her is if it doesn't directly hurt or harm anyone and it's not directed at her, especially if it's not directed at her, for her to just let it go. It's almost like energetically speaking, she of course she wants like the right thing to happen, but a lot of the kids this age, they just see this as someone who's trying to be like a parent or a teacher or oh you're too good for us. Even though they can't like cognitively put that in order, they kind of almost like I don't have to listen to you. And then they start to kind of rebel against it. And again, it's entities really working through these people and kids that can, and especially like trigger points with people just having these confrontations in public in front of other people. It's to get a rise, it's to have an energy harvest. It really is. So let's just see the question. Here, she is not too much or a bad person. She's perfect and does not have to dim her light or talent. Yeah, but I see kind of choosing her battles. Yeah, because sometimes her words can be misconstrued. It's almost like a failure to read the room is kind of what is coming across. Where maybe these kids are kind of laughing together and being mischievous, and then she just says, "Hey, you shouldn't do that." She's totally valid in being able to say that, but they take it almost as who does she think she is? She thinks she's too good for her she thinks she's better than us or whatever. Again, all subconscious. This is not at the front of the intellect. It's very subconscious to where it's almost like this is not telling her to dim her light or hold her tongue when it's her expressing from her heart, from her spirit, from herself, from her personhood. She should and absolutely should never dim that. But when it really has nothing to do with her directly, and so here's the thing, if it doesn't have anything to do with her directly, but someone is being harmed, she would take it as like a bad thing if she didn't speak up. So I'm not saying that if she's seeing bullying, that she absolutely should report that to the bus driver or a teacher or something. But when it's, very just mischievous energy that's really not going to go anywhere, she can just kind of shield up, bubble up, and just let it flow, let it go. It's kind of what's coming through. Oh, I have chills as I said the same thing. And then two more parents said she was being bossy to them last year. Now she doesn't even play it with anyone. Aw. And this could be bossy energy. And it's not that she's trying to boss people around. It's just she's like it's very interesting because I'm kind of seeing S's energy kind of being projected through her, meaning, well, that's how my dad talks to me, so that's how I'm going to talk to other people. And I'm not saying she's right or wrong with that. It's just, it's not her voice coming through when she is kind of in this more, you're doing the wrong thing, let me correct you energy. It's almost like she's trying to, again, very subconsciously project what she's learned from her own father reprimanding her. Yeah. All right, anything else? Yeah, that's what she said. There were 6 girls who were feeling off, so she took it on her to complain. Yeah. Anything else that Bearsha needs to know for Kashfi specifically as advice, wisdom, guidance in moving forward, especially at the bus stop, on the bus, any kind of confrontations or okay. So there may be other kind of, I'm seeing a quiet girl, a very quiet girl. Maybe she sits by herself or maybe with one other boy. Interestingly enough, there may be a boy she sits with, but they're very quiet. She may not even have ever heard them speak to anyone except maybe each other on the bus. That would be a place that she could go and hang around. I do see the girl specifically, though, would have a hard time with maybe I'm hearing the word overt. So maybe that Kashfi will just come right out and say, "Oh, that's a weird shirt." Not saying this is more like an example. Like, "Oh, that's a weird shirt." Not that Kashfi means anything mean by that, but it's just an observation. It's like that's a weird shirt. Where maybe if she was more in her conscious line of thinking, she would say, "Oh, what an interesting shirt. What's the story behind that?" That would actually open a dialogue and make someone feel supported. But it's almost like the way she wants to connect with people, it comes off almost as a miniature attack, if that makes any sense, even though that's not at all what she's intending. But this is coming across because of patterns she's learning from S, is really what's coming through here. And it's making things maybe a bit awkward in her communication or socialization because she just thinks, well, it's a weird shirt. Like, what did I do wrong? What did I say wrong? It's a weird shirt. Again, just as an example. Anything else? Let's go to this deck. Anything else Bearsha needs to know for Kashfi, advice, wisdom, guidance moving forward in just kind of neutralizing this animosity, this conflict at the bus stop, on the bus, and potentially even at school? Wow. It's like this is Kashfi's energy. It's like David and Goliath from the Bible, that whole Bible. This is like Kashfi, and then it's like the whole student body or this group of girls, group of kids, group of people feel like almost this big bad guy against her. But if you kind of even look back to the Bible story of David and Goliath, Goliath was the representation of like the principalities or kind of the puppet masters puppeting Goliath, and anyone who's in this kind of position of I'm better than you, I'm bigger than you, I'm badder than you, so you just sit down and shut up. You can't defeat me. It's not even about defeat here, really. It's more just about knowing time and place to be able to express herself or to just kind of save that energy and effort for the people who are actually on her side or the people who are more friendly is really what's coming through. And on a like soul spirit level, there's nothing that what's going on with this bus stuff. It's like a little gnat flying, buzzing around your head. In the grand scheme of her life, it's really not going to harm her long term. This is just kind of a, even if she's upset now or cries now, I see her being able to alchemize, transmute, and process this as she goes. Did it hurt her what her dad did? Yeah, I definitely feel it absolutely embarrassed her and it made her feel like she did something wrong, which, kids do things wrong all the time. It doesn't mean they're bad people or that they're horrible. Absolutely, they're not. It's just the way that we correct them that can start to build a complex of I'm not worthy, I'm a horrible person, rather than saying that thing you did was not correct, but you are awesome. Like you're an awesome person, but you did a bad thing. That does not make you a bad person, but you did do a bad thing or an incorrect thing. And I'm just letting you know you did that, and now you can correct it next time. But again, in private would have been the place to have that conversation. Even if him going to the bus stop or being at the bus stop triggered, like, oh yeah, she's doing this wrong thing. Well, let me call you out in front of everybody. Like, that's humiliating. Like he should even have known, hey, maybe not the right time and place. But it's almost like I don't know if inherited is the right word, but like she will sometimes act in that certain way as like, there's a correct time and place to say or do these things or have these conversations. It's again, kind of goes back to reading the room. And he doesn't do a great job of that on his best day, let alone his worst day. And she sometimes does struggle with that, I'm seeing here, because she's learning it from him. That's the second question. I did point that out to him yesterday and the day he did the thing on the bus stop. Um, how can I help her? Let's see. Okay. How can you help her is just to let her know you're not a bad person. You just maybe did an incorrect thing. And just explaining to her kind of, you could use the weird shirt analogy if you want. Or, just because you have a thought doesn't mean you need to speak it to this person. And maybe you can ask, you can tell her before you say something to someone, you ask, is the way I'm saying it kind? Even if they weren't kind in what they did, that doesn't mean you have to stoop to their level and be unkind in your response to them. But, is what I'm about to say kind? Is it useful or helpful to anyone? Um, and not, again, this is not her having to run every scenario through her head before she even acts, because that can be exhausting. But especially if it's feeling a little confrontational, ask, is the way I'm about to say this a kind thing to say? And is it useful? Is anyone gonna, is this situation gonna be improved if I say something? If the answer is no, maybe learning to, what battles to choose is really what's coming through. Um, yeah. Yeah, I do feel she's pretty decently protected, or, maybe she'll be upset about it in the moment, but it's not something that's like sticking to her. But there is a root cause, or the root of the problem within her, as there is within each of us in our, soul contracts and all that fun jazz, that is allowing certain attacks to keep coming back, keep coming back, keep coming back. But that will be something. I'm seeing the number 23 in my mind's eye. That might be when she's 23 years old. She personally gets to the root cause of this to be able to pull it out so she doesn't have to deal with these combative, confrontational things all the time. Um, yeah, she has corrected herself. She's getting ready early to reach early at the stop. There you go. Yeah, sure, I will do that. Oh my god, I say that all the time. Please think before you speak, and what you are about to speak, is it kind or even required? Will that person be able to change it in 2 minutes? You're already doing it, and you just modeling this to her through maybe even the way that speak to her, or speak to, her father, or speak to other people in your community. Literally, kids, that whole do as I say, not as I do. Well, kids are going to do as we do, not as we say. So if you are a model, just the same way S is a model for one way of going about it, you can be a model for the other way or a different way of going about it. And she can then kind of see two very distinctly different ways of meeting confrontation, that, she'll see that, okay, maybe my dad doesn't get the best outcomes with the way he projects that onto others, but maybe my mom gets a way better, wow, there's actually resolutions happening when my mom is reaching out or dealing with people, where my dad is just met with more attacks or more animosity, or people not talking to him anymore, or, whatever the case may be. Yeah. That is so true. I'll work more on myself and be careful on how to speak. I mean, it's something, again, it's not about us dimming ourselves or suppressing ourselves, but a lot of this, for lack of a better word, shit that's going on, I'm just hearing it's none of our business. It really is none of our business, because this is the matrix collapsing. There's all these little, look what's on the back of the deck. And it feels very isolating, but yet at the same time, when you're in this world but not of it, you will always feel like othered or an outsider. It's just, it goes with the territory. Because if she's fitting in, because she's having to learn the ways of these kind of mischievous kids, and then she's being able to fit in with that, that's not her true authentic self either. So there are those kids out there, though, that can kind of go their own way, but they have this leader energy, to where even though they're going their own way, like, there's a whole crowd of kids coming with them. And that's like Wrigley's energy. Like, he will call out a bully on the playground. There's a new kid in the class that he's like, no one was looking at him, no one was talking to him. So I just went over there and like made friends with him. And now all my friends are friends with him. I'm like, this, but not all kids, he's a life path one. It makes perfect sense. And then if you look at his astrology, you're like, yes, yes, yes. That is your, I see Kashfi as a very different type of leader. It's more of a smaller group type of leader, but it's all about knowing who a person is, and I would say like nurturing who you know her to be, and holding space for that greatest version of her that is there. And your kid the way I know my kid. So you know what her strengths are. You know what her weaknesses are. His weakness is he doesn't know when to shut his mouth. Yeah, she's absolutely a leader. I can see that in her energy very clearly. It's just in a very different way, maybe than Wrigley does. A lot of similarities, but maybe some differences as well. Wrigley, as you know, is like Mr. Performative, like let me just get a laugh out of people, Mr. Comedian, Leo Rising. He's always gotta, have a funny wig or a funny hat or a funny shirt. Hey, that's a weird shirt. But I'm sure if Koshfi went up and said, "Hey, what a weird shirt you're wearing," he'd be like, "Thanks." Like, it's like reading the room. Like maybe in that instance to say, "Hey, you have a weird shirt on," he takes that as an absolute compliment. But other kids might be like, "Who are you to criticize my shirt?" Whatever the case may be. She's competitive due to her dad. Yeah, he has ingrained. And it's funny enough, he's the one that called out her competitiveness. When he's the one that's like, you need to do, top of your class, best on your exams, best in your competitions. But yet when it's unloading the bus and getting situated, like she's supposed to pull that back. Well, you've literally, S has literally told her, no, be competitive at all costs, like in a lot of other ways in life, to where she's taken that and run with it. But also her seeing him just operate in the world. And, she loves her dad. She, even when, me as a child, I loved my dad. I was afraid of my dad. I didn't feel very connected to my dad, but I still loved him and I still wanted to impress him and please him and, all the things that we do. Um, and again, I didn't know that on a conscious level. It was very subconscious. And it's only looking back that I'm like, wow, so much of the way I acted or performed really in front of my dad was to try to get him to like me or notice me or pay attention to me. It wasn't even me being me. It was just me trying to get him to notice that I was even in the room or, next to him as he's drinking beer with all his friends. Hey, watch my cartwheel. And then I would see halfway through my cartwheel, he'd already be turned to me, getting another beer or talking to his friends. Like it's traumatizing. It really is. It's like your parent is there, but they're not really there. So yeah, I totally get that. Yeah. And that happened with you too. So you totally understand it as well. Yeah. He accepted that he might have put that in HR to come first her to come first all the time. Yeah. Yeah. It's good though that he's accepting that because that definitely, I think it's more cultural and then that was ingrained in him and then he's trying to ingrain that in her and you were kind of ingrained that way too, but like you've kind of have this like kind of outside perspective of maybe we don't have to grind and prove ourselves in all these outside ways. Maybe just us being a spirit we are inherently worthy, and as you have probably come to some of those realizations, so have I, in my years too, since trying to prove myself to everyone but myself, but it will lead him anywhere, I doubt, right? Right. I know. To each their own. We're all on our own path, I guess, right? But all right, let's get into that second question. Dun, 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 dun. Let me go over here first and read it out. Okay. So I am so done with the drama S is creating and it is impacting K mostly. I am not taking F from him anymore and putting my foot down. I feel the entities attached to him are just on rampant attack on her and me, losing on our energy. My body is transforming from inside and I stay in pain a lot with emotions rampant. This just makes it effing tough and lonely. I want a yes, no. Is there any change coming soon in the dynamic? I mean, in the next months. Oh, 1 to 2 months. 1 to 2 months. Is there significant wow. I'm hearing collaborative effort. So it's almost like you and Kashfi kind of having fun or kind of doing your own thing will help raise the vibration of the place to where maybe he's not including himself in it, but at least he's not trying to tear it down. So you'll just see more neutral rather than an attack or him wanting to be like best buds with you guys or, connect with you guys in ways that aren't just intimacy times for you and him, where he is maybe laughing or expressing himself. You may see a bit of that, but that being said, this kind of slip down. It will confuse him. Like, why do I feel like I want to connect with these people that live in my house? Why can't I just, provide the money and just, show up. Like, why do I have to feel this need to now connect on a deeper level than just intimately, but like emotionally? There's this kind of almost war going on in his like between head and heart of why do I feel the need to connect with them in ways that maybe I haven't connected with them in a long time or ever. And it might even scare him to where he kind of I just see him almost working even more hours or maybe going on more trips or something to where he's just trying to distance himself because it's very confusing to him. But that all being said, I do see there is an improvement. At the very least, there's an improvement. Even if it's not like from switch flip from one version to another, at least you're seeing a little bit more peace going on in just his moods, maybe. Because again, it's like he's trying to separate himself because it's confusing and almost kind of scares him. Um, yeah, let's see. We are doing that. I sleep with her and enjoy with her. We do not even ask him. I mean, at this point, that's what you're doing for self-preservation. Because I mean, what else can you do when you do try to bend over backwards and like meet his needs and do all this and that? Every time you're just met with him just demanding more rather than, oh, you've given me all of this. Well, let me give you something now. Like he just feels like almost a sense of entitlement to your energy, your body, you know, all the free labor that you perform around the home and raising your daughter. And, you know, yeah. Yeah, we are more like roommates. He tries to flirt with me, but I just shut him off. Yeah. And if you're not, again, it's like trying to pour from an empty cup. And that's the thing is the woman receives the energy from the man, but if he's always putting a lot of negativity on you, it's then on you as the feminine source here to alchemize that heavy energy. So it's not only your own trauma, your own heaviness that you are alchemizing. And this goes for every feminine energy out there. It's not just our own energy, it's our children, it's our almost all of the masculine energy in this planet can't self-regulate, can't we've all been traumatized, we've all been programmed, we've all been wounded, but there's so much wounded masculine out there and they don't know how. And even if some of them did know how, they just, oh, I don't want to deal with that right now. I have better things to do. I got to earn money. I got to do this. I got to do that. Again, survival mode, to where they won't deal with the alchemization of their own emotional, trauma and wounds and all this. So then it becomes, this is the women that he works with, your daughter, the neighbor lady, like any woman that's in his vicinity is picking up on this crap, for lack of a better word. And then her energy is the one that's going to have to alchemize and transmute this. It's just a fact. And it's kind of I guess it's the feminine curse that's been put on us in this like realm, that whoever we are in proximity to, we are male and female, but especially the male, because the female are kind of, we can work on our own stuff. I would say much better. Not everyone, and this is not an across the board all men or all women for sure, but like women, just that natural energy as the receiver, we receive a lot of this. Just feel the energy of this realm is so negative, so toxic, and we're constantly as these feminines connected to that are connected to true spirit, alchemizing this, and us just being here as these anchors. We are alchemizing, transmuting this negativity and darkness and shadow and reintegrating it. Whether we know we're doing that or not, that's what we're doing. Yeah, he's working too much, sleeping at 2 or 3 a.m., waking up early. He is not available at all for us, but I make a point to make him accountable to take some responsibility, like taking her to class, pick her from school, even get groceries too. I just say, I will not do it. Also, my body is actually in a lot of pain. I have to rest, else I will be bedridden. I cannot let that happen. Yeah. Yeah. But as far as the next 1 to 2 months, things are looking better. This is not perfection. There's some really great cards here, especially these 4. This one, not so much, but this is mostly his energy. This is just kind of, I just heard from Joe Dirt, home is what you make it. You remember the movie Joe Dirt? there's this guy that it was really hard to understand. He's like, "How is all you make it?" And the guy is the Joe Dirt was like, "You like to see homosexuals naked? Okay, that's cool. We all have our thing." He's like, "No, home is where you make it." So just that little snippet of that show, that movie, it's like misunderstanding or your misinterpretation, misunderstanding. But then finally, it's like, "Oh, I get what you've seen." I haven't seen, yeah, it's an older movie, I'd say probably 2001 or 2002, maybe a little earlier than that. It's stupid. It's a stupid movie, but it's kind of funny. Like, the one guy in the not Joe Dirt, but another character, he sets up this, like, fireworks stand, but he only sells snakes and sparklers. And then Joe Dirt's like, "Well, where are, like, the" he names, like, all these, like, uh, I don't know, like, whiz bangs and something whistlers and da da like, he names, like, a whole bunch of different types of fireworks, and the guy's like he's like, "Why don't you have any of that? You're gonna stand there and tell me you don't have any of this, any of this, any of this, any of this." And the guy's like, "No, because snakes and sparklers are the only kinds I like." So it's almost like I'm not willing to put up with all of that because this is my energy. Like that's you're almost coming across as the Native American guy that owns the um oh my neighbors are out talking. Uh that owns the fireworks stand. He's only gonna sell and put up with and vibe with what he wants, not taking on all this extra BS just because that's what the customer wants or the people coming to you to siphon energy want. Yeah, as I said, talking sense into him is like banging my head on the wall. And that's where I think this also could come in because it did fall to the ground and kind of came up in reverse too. Is you just saying, "Well, I'm not going to do it anymore then. I will pull my energy back for me, reserve it for me and my friends that I get along with online or otherwise, my daughter, some friendly neighbors, people I smile at the grocery store, like they deserve it and can vibe with it. But if you're just such a misalignment from my energy, there's not much more I can do for you, bud." Like that's kind of the energy coming forward. But all right. So I hope that at least helps. Is things do look like they will improve, but this is because you are almost completely taking your focus off what he's done wrong or ways he's showing up incorrectly or whatever, and just channeling all of that quote unquote wasted energy um, back into your happiness, making sure you're getting good rest, you making sure you're feeling good, making sure your daughter is well cared for and has had a great emotional connection with you, and all those types of things. So I hope that was helpful for you, my dear. Oops, I accidentally pasted the pinned comment rather than our donation list, but I do believe oh, Linda had to walk away, but back now. Okay. Brianna, I think is next, but let me scroll up. I'm deleting that I just pasted because it's the wrong thing. All right. So we got Versha's done. Brianna and then Linda. So but Linda is back. Back in action. Okay. So let's go to Brianna's question. Full read for Brianna. Full read. Here we go. All right. So Brianna, will you channel a message for me regarding the tinctures and potions that I am creating? Anything that comes up will be awesome. All right, well, let's get into it for Brianna. Bringing forward a message from True Spirit about Brianna's tinctures and potions. What does she need to know? Any advice, guidance, wisdom from Spirit would be much appreciated. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Interestingly enough, since we've uncovered what we've uncovered about the moon, I almost can see this as a falling or like a dissolution of the matrix or a thinning of the veil. So a lot of potentially the stuff that you are working with, it's not just the specific herbs or whatever it is that you're putting into these tinctures and potions. It is your intention. It is your divine feminine wisdom and your divine feminine magic that is also being, I just heard ingratiated. And isn't that like infusing? Like I think that's the word I was looking for, is more infusing. But I'm hearing to look up the word ingratiated. Is it like kind of worming your way into something? Let's see, ingratiating meaning. Ingratiating. Intending to gain approval or favor. Okay. Yeah, it's like worming your way in or trying to fit in some way. So bringing oneself into favor with someone by flattering or trying to please them. Oh, okay. So this is you basically breaking that rule. Like, I don't have to ingratiate myself into this matrix. I'm going to override this matrix, especially with this combination here. The Queen of Swords is like, that's cute that you want me to play by your rules in this little box. I'm actually bringing my own feminine, divine feminine alchemy from outside this realm into this realm to help further collapse this matrix system and help those who are using, if you're deciding to sell these, or if you're just using them for personal use, or however you're using them, or they will be used, your intention is for them to help dissolve this matrix and put people back in alignment with their true divinity, is really what's coming through, Brianna, about these tinctures and all of this. Wow. And I just heard Borat when he goes, wow, wow, woo, woo. Borat. Okay, and I love this because I just recently rewatched this because I was trying to timestamp that cosmic question, which was about the moon, if it's a natural moon or if it was placed. And we basically figured out that the moon, the matrix that the moon, or the moon that created, it's kind of like a portal, and it helps keep this matrix in place. So the moon is not a good thing, I would say, in that case. But we basically came to the understanding in that reading with this card, when this card came out, that the new moon is the iPhone, or, just being chronically online is the new matrix, basically, to upload us to this metaverse, or, again, hijack our consciousness, which is interesting because we were talking about that kind of, I know earlier when Brianna stepped in before we even started questions today, about just where are we, or it was even during, I guess, Marlene's question. So it was Marlene's question. Where are we spending our time paying attention? You are breaking the mold, a new way forward. We got kind of almost like a family tree. Like, you're starting a whole new legacy. And weirdly enough, I heard the song again, Go Your Own Way by Fleetwood Mac. That song, again, I have not listened to that song in years, but it pops up from time to time in people's readings, or just on the live stream in general. Or it'll pop into my head a lot lately. I'd say lately, meaning the last 2 to 3 years. It just pops into my head. And I don't even know a lot of the lyrics off the top of my head, but just that, like, main Go Your Own Way chorus. And then we have the Empress card. So yeah, there's literally alchemy that you're creating. And look, it's very interesting. We have her holding a cup or a flute. This is a champagne flute, so it's almost like a celebration. But look at all the wheat, or what's to be harvested behind you. There's so much. Oh, and we have 3 golden eggs in a little nest. I've never seen those before on this card, or paid much mind or attention to them until now for some reason. And I just heard the goose that laid the golden egg. What's that? I know I've heard that before. Is it like a Aesop's fable or something? The goose that laid the golden egg. Okay, here it is. So it is not a book by Aesop, but rather one of his famous fables, a short story with the moral, the tale describing the farmer growing greedy kills his goose to get the golden eggs at once, only to find no eggs inside and lose his source of wealth. The story has given rise to the idiom killing the goose that lays the golden egg, which refers to destroying a valuable resource out of greed. But again, this is what you're here, Brianna, to circumvent, or to, I heard bypass, but like in a good way. You're bypassing just the way that other businesses have been run, or depleting all of these resources and being very greedy to, make these essential oils, or to, bleed dry Mother Earth of the source of this whatever product we're selling. That's one of the ingredients in the product we're selling. But who cares? Because we're making money hand over fist. This is the kind of business practice you are completely flipping on its head and doing things in a divinely aligned, divinely inspired way. And this is the way of, I hate calling it like these new age, things, but it's like new earth, or basically, a return to the way that we are supposed to do business or to utilize Mother Nature's gifts that she has for us, the wheat, the goose that laid 3 golden eggs. So there may be 3 different, or maybe more, but at least multiple opportunities or avenues through which, Brianna, you can really ingratiate yourself into a new way. But it's like you're not like trying to schmooze or flatter people to work your way up a ladder. It's more you bringing your spiritual light is the ingratiation that's happening to just rise, rise, rise. Okay. Any closing statement or argument for Brianna? Anything else she needs to know? And I just heard last call. Hey, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you used to be a bartender. So it's almost like last call for that way of doing things. We're doing things in alignment with divinity, in alignment with Mother Nature. Okay, slippery energy here. What do we got? Grab it. And we have, don't sweat the small stuff. This came out for someone else on the last live stream. I don't know that it was you specifically, Brianna. It might have been. I can't recall right off the top of my head. But we have, it's interesting. I'm seeing the relationship here between the bear and the mouse. And then the mouse has a little cherry or a little berry there in its mouth. And yeah, and I'm hearing like making friends. And it's kind of funny because there's this whole thing going around online. It's like, would you rather come across a bear in the woods or a random guy in the woods? And most women are choosing the bear. And I just heard choose the bear, but like meaning go back to nature. And as I'm saying choose the bear, I'm looking at Monty the bear here. Monty. Oh, and I uncovered an alien and a sloth too. So I don't know if a bear, specifically that's a grizzly bear. He's a character of a grizzly bear for the Montana Grizz. We have a purple alien and a little slothy guy here. And go back on Ripley's bed. But yeah, so there's almost like this relationship between Mother Nature's creatures and getting back into alignment with harmony, peace, love, harmony. Something maybe about the name of your tinctures or potions or something like very natural, coming back into alignment with divinity, or even something about the names that you're choosing are very much in alignment with the divine in some way. And I just saw the color red and then the color purple and then the color orange. So orange is, as we know, is very prevalent with you. I don't know that those colors specifically have to go together, but there's something about all 3 of them in different ways that are, and it could even be the chakras, the root, the sacral, yes, and then the crown. That specific potions that you are creating are targeting these areas to help align the people using them, or if you're just using them for yourself, that's what you're doing. Okay. Hope that helped, Brianna. And I probably should have timestamped. We finished at 1:17, so I'm going to find a better timestamp. I don't know that she's here. I probably should have timestamped. Timestamped almost everyone else, but we're at I don't know, when we started, probably around 110, 109-ish. Okay, I'll go back and try to search that out. Okay, up next we have Linda. Linda. All right, Linda. So this is for my friend Angelina. She doesn't have PayPal. Please timestamp. Thanks. Okay. So Angelina. And we are at. Okay, so she has no PayPal. She didn't ask for a timestamp, but I haven't seen her commenting. Usually if she's here, she'll kind of comment as we're doing the reading. So that's just me thinking, I don't think she's here. So let's get her a timestamp. We're at 1:18:44 for Angelina. I love that name, by the way. So pretty. Okay. Okay, so Angelina, question. My niece, Andrea, has a recent big gain in weight. Her family are all concerned about her health, yet she says she is fine, has gone to the doctor, and no health issues. When we try to address the issue, she closes up. Should we be concerned? And what is the best way to approach this? Okay, let's ask those 2 questions. I'm hearing defense mechanism, or this weight gain is somehow coming on. It doesn't feel like it's a conscious choice, like I need to gain weight to protect myself. It's very subconscious. And this very much feels like the state of the economy, the state of maybe just some things going on in Andrea's life that make her feel unsafe or unstable is the root of why this is happening. I always like to get to the root cause of like, why are we having this medical issue? And even though I don't see that it is, the doctors do feel very correct here, I don't see that this is going to be detrimental to her health. Just if, as long as she maintains or can kind of come back from where she's at. But if it keeps piling up, then down the road, there may be some issues about it. I'm hearing the concern will pass. This too shall pass. So that's already coming through pretty clearly. She's at almost this finish line or crossroads. And this, weirdly enough, this feels very much connected to her job. Stress with the job, stress of finding a different job. There's something about the job that is very, I'm seeing like a big circle, like, yes, 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 ding, we have a winner. Ding, 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 ding. Just the stress of keeping a life going, paying bills, showing up to work, dealing with people's BS, is just kind of weighing her down. No pun intended. I didn't even, there it is. It's piling on and weighing her down, but it's again, coming from this like scarcity wound, and then this definitely feels past life. Hi, Brianna, we just did your reading. So you can scroll back maybe about 12, 13 minutes ago when I started. So go ahead and scroll back and feel free to comment or leave any thoughts or ideas you have. And there may even be some sort of deadline or something that she's counting down to specifically with work or potentially with a bill that needs to be paid or something she's stressing about debt-wise, money and debt. But let's ask these specific questions that Angelina has about Andrea is, should we be concerned? I'm already getting a no long-term, but yes, short-term is stressful. She'll be victorious over this. She'll be able to get, again, and that's not even like the goal of Andrea to, I need to get back down to my, happy weight or anything. It's just the stress or the trigger that has kind of been the root cause of this stress for her will start to dissipate. I see it taking potentially up to about 2 years from now, but she's going to be financially and as far as stability in her like interpersonal relationships, like especially close friendships, any partnerships she's in at work or in her personal life, any family dynamics that are a bit, friction. There's resolution coming to some of this stuff to where she's just allowing the weight to slough off. And it's not like it's happening overnight, but it's almost like she's just going about her day and she realizes my pants are fitting looser than they did. But it's almost like the root cause of stress that she's going through personally currently is going to start to dissipate over these next 2 years. So it's going to be a bit of a journey for her, but I'm hearing it's well worth the wait, not WEIGHT, but WAIT, well worth the wait. So as far as the second question, the best way to approach this with her, I'm just hearing already for Angelina and other family members and people close to Andrea is just to let her know that you're there. Like, if there's anything, just kind of, this is something she does is she always wants people to know that she's there for them. Now she needs that shoulder to lean on or that support, that love, that care. Even if this looks like for Angelina specifically to make sure that she's really reaching out and connecting with Andrea pretty regularly, just to let her know, hey, there's someone in your corner. If there's anything you want to talk about, I'm not going to judge you. Like, I love you. I just want to be there for you. Just showing that she's ready to be that support. And yes, again, if she does get upset and wants them to drop it, this is more just about life in general, not even bringing up the weight or the fact they're worried about her health or anything, but just connecting with her as a person is really what's coming forward. No need to even bring up, the elephant in the room of, okay, we're concerned about your weight. We're concerned about your health potentially. And this is more just about the elephant has already been addressed, so to speak. So it's not something that needs to keep being brought up anyway. And that's where it feels like Andrea's got this annoyance is, I know I'm fat, guys, like, just shut up right now. Like, that's kind of because she doesn't feel good being the way she is. Even if she tries to play it off that she is, it does concern her too, and she's like, "What is happening?" Like, she doesn't understand it except maybe on that more subconscious level. And then we have Hollow Bone with teachability, and then Unmarked Trail with revelation. And I do see that she is on a bit of her own quest or journey, um, like just like life in general or spirituality potentially, or just like what is the meaning of life? Like, why am I here? Why am I doing all this stuff? Why do I have to pay all these bills? Why do I have to, why is the world set up this way? Like, she's just kind of asking these kind of unasked questions that have been kind of piling up. And I'm seeing like all these boxcars behind a train that's now derailed, but the train boxcars keep coming, 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 and piling up, piling up, piling up, to where it feels like she's ready to just like blow steam out her ears like they do in the old cartoons. But this is something it's very interesting because this is a big turning point for her over these next 2 years, a big pivotal time where she is actually shifting to where she may be at some future date able to help people who are currently in the position she's in, maybe dealing with just the weight of the world on their shoulders, and then maybe helping women or people in general with weight loss in the future, because she is going to figure it out. She's going to figure out the root cause, and then, the weight will start coming off. But then there's like almost this passion that she is gaining about all the wisdom that she's gained on this path of, gaining this weight, having everybody concerned about her. She's concerned about herself, even if she wants to play it off. Um, yeah, always offering a happy attitude and jokes around a lot. And a lot of times that can be used as a mask to hide the pain. And that's really, it's like she's putting on like a brave face for others, because she feels like, if I fall apart, like, what's this all about? Like, no, it's okay to fall apart. And in fact, let's all fall apart, all of us. Maybe not all at the same time, because we need that support from other people that, they're falling apart, we're falling apart, we're all a hot mess. But she'll realize that, okay, I do have this really beautiful support system, and I don't have to keep shutting them out and pretending everything's fine. There will reach a breaking point. So family just kind of checking in with her just as a person, not because she has this issue or this thing's going on in her life for now, but just connecting with her as your loving niece, or, your brother or sister's loving daughter, or, your husband's loving daughter. I'm not sure how exactly she is your niece, but just letting her know, as a person, we value you. We are here for you. If you want to laugh, if you want to cry, like, we're here for you. Oh, she lost a boyfriend years ago. Case not solved. Wow. Yeah, that does feel very much like, especially if they were living together, or like very close to like solidifying, like, this is my person, we're going to be together forever. And then that was taken away from her. That really does feel like a big root of this security issue that Andrea is dealing with, especially where, he would have, and this sounds shallow, but I don't mean it this way, but it's like her foundation of, okay, we're going to build a life together, we can build a family together, we'll be together, he'll work and maybe I'll work too, and we'll be able to combine resources rather than be two single people trying to make life out on our own. And that really took a hit to her stability, or put a crack in the foundation big time for her, to where she's feeling very unstable. She's not where she wants to be at this age, this time in her life. She thought she'd be farther ahead, or, have different milestones accomplished that she's just nowhere near accomplishing, if ever, at least in her mind right now. She's like, well, maybe I'll never be able to have this or have that, or, because something was taken away from me so long ago. Yeah, there's definitely the root of this is a loss. This is staring at me from the back of the deck. A very significant loss that really acted almost as kind of the root cause of all that's going on now. Even if it was years ago, it's almost like the delayed reaction of that grief is kind of finally, like, the whiplash of it all is finally starting to catch up with her in the physical realm, as far as putting weight on to protect herself, or it's almost feeling like it's a protective shield. Let's get one more for Angelina in regards to Andrea and just how to move forward in connecting with her and just, moving forward. Aw. Well, yeah, it just feels like that boyfriend's energy. I know the words here, but interestingly enough, there may be a toxic man. I don't know that this is at her work. It feels kind of more in the past, recent-ish past, meaning like 1 to 2 years past, that was maybe making some suggestive remarks about her body, or just, you know, making her feel inadequate in some way, or unworthy, or kind of creeped out by this guy, to where it almost does feel like some of this weight is also a protective mechanism from this. As far as advice moving forward, though, for the family, for Angelina, anyone else that just wants to be there for Andrea, any advice for those people that want to be there? Light bulb moment, sudden realization. We had that card in this as well. It was revelation. It was the something path. I can't remember. Sudden realization, feeling inspired, insightful awareness. And this really is just allowing her, just supporting her, whether that's from afar or just in other ways in life. You're supporting her, loving her, connecting with her. That will give her just time and space to allow herself to process all of this, because she technically doesn't need anyone else's help, but just knowing that you all love her, whether that's right up front in her face or from afar, that's all you guys need to do. And I know that when your family member is going through it, the first thing you want to do is jump in and help, like, absolutely. But it almost feels like that's too much for her right now. And you can help by just quietly sending her love, or keeping her in your prayers, or, whatever resonates for you, Angelina, to, and of course, reaching out to her on the phone and just checking in with her, not about her health specifically, but just like, hey, how's life? We should get together for drinks or dinner or coffee, or, whatever. However it is that you two personally connect, just connecting, and, not fully avoiding the topic, if it comes up or there's a natural way to just inquire about it, but just kind of reading the room, knowing when and where to bring that up, or if to bring it up at all. But it shouldn't be, again, a new elephant in the room that everyone's tiptoeing around, and we shouldn't talk about that. It shouldn't be a dirty little secret either. But just asking, how are you doing? What have you been doing lately? Like, any good shows you're watching? Like, just finding little ways to connect with her, to where you may find that you're connecting with her in like 4 to 100 random little ways, that she will feel safe enough to open up to you in the way you're all wanting to connect to her. So just being there for her in any way, shape, or form that you can. Yeah, about the health issue that she might be covering it up. And weirdly enough, that's not really even coming forward. It's not like she flubbed her or is lying about her test results or anything. Especially because it does feel like this issue is more recent. And by more recent, I mean 2 to 3 years for sure. No, I mean, there may be things from the past that maybe they're kind of thinking of too, but especially over these last 2 to 3 years, or even sooner, that are bringing the cause for concern here. Let's just check into her health, physical health specifically, because we've kind of really touched a lot on her mental health. Her physical health before we close out, just to see. Okay, slippery energy here, but everything's good. Like, yeah, it wasn't standing out as like, yeah, you guys are correct to be, I mean, obviously you're correct to be worried because you love her, obviously. But weirdly enough, as weird as this may sound for me to say, or for you to hear it, is she's not in any danger health-wise or physically, even if the way she looks right now may show otherwise. I do see her very protected, on a spiritual level, and also in the physical realm. She's very protected, and she will get this figured out. It's going to take some time. I'm seeing, again, about 2 years, but she's going to figure this out. And I do see love, falling in love, or just opening herself back up to love as one of the catalysts. What's a catalyst? Cataly? I don't know the plural of catalyst. Catalysts? Cataly? I don't know. Absolutely, she will find love again. Absolutely. But let's just see what we need to know about that before we close out. Hello there. And hello there. These are both soulmate, like, we're dating, I'm into you, I'm emotionally connected to you cards. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So this will be a new beginning for her. And Queen of Pentacles, she'll feel like that queen once again. She'll feel good in her body, in her mind, in her heart, in her spirit once again. and we have 2 more. It's just going to take, again, refocusing, getting to the root cause of this pain and stuff from her past, and allowing that old dream, especially with the boyfriend that's no longer with us, um, and resolving that, maybe not fully resolving, because are we ever fully over something? I don't know. Maybe not, but just feeling safe again and stable again, because this is literally like we got to detonate it and start over, because there's a faulty foundation here. We need to build back better. And she absolutely will. Wow, couldn't have been more on point with that direct hit of a question right there. She'll have the life that she wanted. It's just a bit later than she had hoped for, but there's really no timing like that. She's got it on a deadline. Even if she already feels like, I wished I could have, been married, had kids, did X, Y, and Z years ago, there's really no deadline or proper order or, expiration date on anything for her. And in fact, I'm hearing right now, as I said, that the rest of her life will be the best of her life. So she's had a lot of bumps along the way, and she will in the future. I mean, it's not going to be an easy road to get back where she wants to be physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. But she will be able to overcome this. She absolutely will. She's so strong. Not that she needs to be. Oh, there it is. The unmarked trail revelation. Not that she needs to be, but it's just kind of her programming or her automatic response to this grief. Ooh, now my right ear's ringing. But she has a lot of spiritual support as well. Potentially, and yes, I'm hearing a big yes, even from the boyfriend that's no longer here. A lot of spiritual support from his higher self coming through. Thank you, Amanda. My friend Angelina had to leave at 11, but she will listen to replay. I've known her niece since she was a baby. Aw. Yeah, so it's almost like she feels like she's your niece too, or you at least have a vested interest in knowing how this shakes out. And I do see things, again, life can never be all rainbows, roses, and butterflies, but again, the rest of her life will be the best of her life. So it's all looking up. Again, it's going to take time and patience, and there may be some stumbling and some falling and getting back up, but she's going to be able to do it and do it well, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, she's rebelling against her past and just finding a new way forward. I love it. All right. So Kirsten's here. Hello, my dear. I hope you've been well. It's been a minute since I've seen you. So as far as I know, I think we are caught up on donations. So last call, if anyone else needs a reading before the weekend kicks off, let me know. Oops, I accidentally deleted. I might keep this Michael's coupon that I just deleted. 40% off one regularly priced item. I actually went to Michael's for the first time in probably 3 years the other day to get yarn for Wrigley's Halloween costume mask thing that I made him. I'm still not finished with it. And I started the one and finished it till around the ribbing of the neck, and I'm like, this is way too big. The bottom part was too tall and the top part was too short. So I'm like, I'm just going to start over on a whole new hat, mask, whatever it's called. So that's what I did. And now all I need to do is add the ribbing around the neck on the new one, and it's ready to go. So it fits way better, and it's just exactly what I wanted when I was trying to figure it out the first time. But Wrigley was at school when I was trying to measure it, and I was using my head as the measurement, and even still using my head, the top part was way too short and the bottom part was way too tall. So I needed to shift, because it's kind of like one of those balaclava mask things that kind of goes right here and covers here and just kind of leaves your eyes exposed like this, and then covers the rest of you. Yeah, so that's what we're working with. All right. I'm not sure if anyone else was wanting to donate, but last call, I'll give you guys about 2 more minutes. But yeah, hope you guys all have a happy and good weekend. Figure out some fun things to do, and also potentially hopefully get some rest. That's always a good thing to do on a weekend, I try, but it doesn't happen I actually get more rest, I think, during the week than I do the weekend, because we've been so busy with golf and soccer on weekends. And of course, this week we'll throw a wrench in the mix of having the homecoming parade for the university here too, that Boston's performing in. So we've got that on our plate today as well, or this weekend. Yeah, so busy weekend, but it's all good. It's all fun. Oh, time for Kay to come back, so I will go. Love to all and see you on Wednesday live. Yes, yes. And we will be doing, I'm pretty sure if I remember, a cosmic question corner. I'll just have to hope to my future self that I remember to put it as that rather than collective reading or free one card pull, excuse me, or whatever else I do. Yeah, because I want to get into some more cosmic questions. Next Tuesday is Kay's birthday. Yay! So I have to prepare for a ceremony at home and also go to school and take her places. Oh, fun. Oh, birthdays are so fun. And she'll be 11, right? I think she's a year, not a year, like a month older than Wrigley. Yeah, Wrigley's going to be 11 in the 11th month of November, on the 19th day of November. I'll always remember the something day of November, but in his case, it was the 19th. Yeah. Yes, very cool. Yeah, so they're like a little over a month apart then. That's it. That's pretty close in age. Very cool. Yes, you have a good weekend as well, Linda. Right back to you, my dear. All right, well, I think we're good to go. Let me just double check. No one donated and snuck it past me here in the back end. No, we're good. We're caught up. Well, thanks for hanging out. I was happy to accommodate the readings that we needed to get to today. So thanks again for your donations, everybody. I greatly appreciate it. It helps me keep doing what I love doing, is reading and helping you guys and just feeling super connected to everybody. I love it. But thanks again, you guys, so much for all those likes, comments, shares, subscribes, donations, and everything, and all the things. And I really, truly do hope to see each and every one of you right back here at Harmony Portal Tarot Live on Woo Woo Wednesday. And this Wednesday coming up is actually the last Wednesday of football, as far as I know. I think it's the playoffs. So I think we'll still do our Woo Woo Wednesday at 11 a.m. Mountain Time. And then potentially the week after that, the third week of October, we will go back to our 6 p.m. time. But right as I said that, I better figure out when Halloween is. I mean, I know it's the 31st, but like what day of the week? Okay, it's a Friday. We're good to go. We're good to go. Yeah. So hopefully we can wrap up the football season and then just go back to our regularly scheduled Woo Woo Wednesday, 6 p.m. Oh, no, that's next Wednesday, which I already know is so we have Wrigley's football, and Boston, I think, has a band concert at 7:30 that night. So we may be having to leave. I may be having to leave the game early to get over to the band concert, and then Wrigley and Ryan join us later at the band concert or something. Yeah. But after that, at least for the foreseeable future, I don't know that we have any other plans Wednesday evenings. So we should be good to get back to our regular schedule until about April, when we are back to baseball season. But there may be a one-off Wednesday where Boston's got something like a band concert or something. But like all the basketball games that Wrigley, with upcoming basketball seasons, he does two different, like a YMCA and a Parks and Rec basketball. Those are all Fridays or Saturdays. So they're not going to interfere with our Woo Woo Wednesday. And golf doesn't interfere. Band may. But that's about it. All right, you guys, I'm rambling, so I'm going to go. Love you guys. I will see you next time. Bye.